Welcome back to Frankie's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making the fisherman's pie. So start off by finely chopping some chives. Once you have finely chopped your chives, you want to put them into a container and leave for later on. Now you move on to your other herbs and also chop them finely. Once the herbs are finely chopped, you want to mix the dill and parsley together and separate some chives for garnish for later on. Now you want to grab your 2 shallots and chop them roughly. Once the shallots are chopped, just put them aside and leave them for later. With the leek, you want to cut it a little bit thicker than the shallots. This will add a texture to the pie. With the leek, you want to use the dark bits to add to your sauce to give your sauce a flavour. You want to put them into a container and leave to the side. Now you want to go grab your fish from the fridge. I didn't realise when buying the salmon it still had this skin on. But don't worry, I will show you how to skin it now. Once the salmon has been skinned, you want to cut it into cubes. Once the salmon has been cubed, you want to get the smoked haddock and cut it at an angle. With the prawns, I just decided to cut them in half. You don't have to, you can also leave them whole. After you have prepped all the seafood, put it onto a clean tray and keep in the fridge until required. Now you have finished with the fish prep, you can clean down and clean the board. Now you want to cut the potatoes into little pieces. This will be for the mash. After you've cut the potato, you can put them straight in the pan and get them cooking until soft and tender. Also add salt. Now heat a pan to medium to high temperature. Add 25 grams or a tablespoon of butter. Once the shallots have become translucent, you can add the stalks of parsley and dill. And don't forget to stir the pot. Now remember that dark bit of leek I told you to keep? It's time to add. Add it now! Now! Add it now! And let that cook for a further 3 minutes. At this point, you can season with salt and pepper. Once the shallots and leeks are sweated down nicely, add your white wine. Once the wine has been added, add a squeeze of lemon juice, half a lemon. You now need to reduce the wine. This should take around 4 to 5 minutes. Once the wine has reduced, you can add your fish stock. Reduce the stock until slightly thickened. Once it has reached the desired thickness, you now need to pass it through a fine strainer. What a messy boy. Once the stock has been passed, put aside. It is now time to make the roux. Heat a pan on medium to high, add 50 grams of butter or 2 tablespoons and let it melt. I changed to a whisk so I don't get any lumps in my roux. Once the butter has melted, you want to add in all the flour, 50 grams. Cook the butter and flour for a further 2 to 3 minutes and then slowly add your fish stock. You may need a little bit more fish stock, so do an extra 300 ml. Once you feel the velouté have hit the right thickness, you can now add the 200 ml of cream. It is time to add your fish mix, starting with the salmon and then the haddock, and cook for at least two minutes. The reason for that is the prawns are already cooked, but if you had prawns that weren't cooked, you can add them all at the same time. Once the fish was added, I then turned the stove down to medium to low. Now you want to stir your fish mix gently, avoiding breaking the meat up. Don't forget to add the prawns. Time to take the pot off the stove and mix in your dill, parsley and chives. Mix in gently. This is a good point to taste for seasoning to see if it needs any more lemon juice, any more salt and pepper. Start taking chunks of fish and placing them in a dish, followed by the lovely sauce. Once you have filled the dish with the fish, give it a gentle tap to level it out. It's time to add the leeks. I've just lightly blanched them in boiling water and then chilled them down really quickly. After you have added the leeks, it's time to make the mash. The monster mash. For the mash, you'll need 200 milliliters of double cream and 2 egg yolks, salt and pepper. You want to combine the cream and the mash to form a velvety consistency. Now it's time to add your egg yolks. Now the mash is made, it's time to put it on top of the pie. I like to put it into piping bag because you get a nice, neat pattern. After piping all the mash on the pie, start to add some cheese on top of the pie. Doesn't that look like a pie to die for? And it's still not over yet. The pie is ready for the oven. Turn your oven to 200 and cook for 35 to 40 minutes and you should be left with this beautiful pie. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment and tell me how I did.